So, from being influenced by the Sex Pistols to having a successful punk rock band and now dabbling in politics, let me introduce to you Marco Pogo from the Austrian Beer Party.
First of all, nice to meet you, Mark. Thanks a lot for the interview. Thanks for having me. Yes, I really got like 11 seats, and I'm kind of surprised, but I'm really looking forward to what's coming up now.
Brilliant. So I gather your background is you've got a punk rock band what did you start at about 2013, 2014, this punk rock band, am I correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And you've had 3 albums?
Yeah, it's 3 albums. The band is working really good here. It's kind of fun. And out of this band, out of my musical project, I kind of started the beer party.
Yeah, well, obviously you have a love of beer like myself. You enjoy beer, would I be correct?
I really do love beer. One day back in 2014, I wrote a song called The Beer Party, which is basically just about the situation getting better when I'm a politician in power, when I'm kind of in charge in this country. Everything is getting better. And out of this song, I kind of started to develop several like posters and more video clips, stuff like that. And all of a sudden, I really kind of registered the party officially here at the Ministry for like in internal ministry, don't know, like domestic. Yeah.
Like a local council type thing, yeah.
Local council, yeah. It was kind of, yeah, it was easy. I just had to pay like 40 euros to get my party registered. I actually thought it's going to be a big bunch of paperwork and stuff to do, but actually it was just like paying 40 euros and writing down your beliefs, or don't know what how to say. That's how it started. And now a manifesto, some kind of manifesto, yeah. And all of a sudden at this election it kind of got really big.
Yeah. And do you think that it's got really big because people are now getting fed up with the mainstream politicians? They're fed up with these politicians that they're sort of a little bit out of touch of reality, aren't they? They're out of touch.
That's an interesting view. I kind of see it the other way around. I see that people are fed up with kind of the classic way politicians are in this country. Of course, we have populists here and so, but it's kind of everything is really old-fashioned here, kind of classic, and there is people are I think fed up of the normal way politics work here in this country, and I'm trying to be like just completely different, but not in a way as Donald Trump, but I think being just like more open-minded, and that's kind of the thing that is lacking here.
Don't get me wrong. I wasn't like comparing you to Donald Trump, but I think Donald Trump has been the first. I think Donald Trump has been the first real big name politician who he's not been a career politician. So he's just from his Mogul empire to I'm going to go into politics. Woke up one morning and thought I'm going to go into politics. Which, if you look at the current sort of norm of the career politicians, they start off low and they move their way up through the ranks. And I think it's opened a lot of people's eyes as to you haven't got to be a career politician to be able to become a politician.
The big Arnold Schwarzenegger, which who also like become big politician actually. Yeah, you're right. And of course we have some more famous right-wing populists. Like the Jörg Haider guy. I don't know if you know him or if you can remember this one. And my motivation to really start with the beer party actually was also because of a politician becoming an actor, although he didn't know that he was being filmed. The Strache guy, you remember him?
Yeah.
He was filmed on Ibiza, and he was trying to basically sell big newspapers, and he was having some wild power fantasies. And this was actually the point where when I thought, okay, now it's my time to get really involved. And also because I was really fed up myself. I was kind of not satisfied with the parties which I could choose, basically. So I tried to make it better for me this time, and it kind of really worked. But although my party is a lot about beers and a lot about fun, having fun in life.
Yeah.
Now it's getting kind of serious, and of course I have to try to work more serious on topics than up to this moment, because that's what they always say to me in the media. It's always the party, the fun party and stuff like that. But I really try to use the new power I actually have now to, yeah, make some good things as well. And besides drinking beer,
Yeah. Well,
which is, I think,
yeah.
the most
Well,
beautiful thing in life.
that was the next thing I was going to move on to, because I've seen a couple of your policies that you've got when you first started the party. And one was the beer fountain, which I thought, you know, that would be brilliant. But the trouble is, if we had a beer party in the UK, our beer's rather crap, so that's not going to get votes. A beer fountain in the UK is not going to get anyone votes on, because our beer, as you know, is a pretty dire, you know. So, but
We could kind of
well,
bring beer from Austria or beer from Czech Republic to the UK, and then make a beer fountain,
yeah,
and I'm sure that this is going to be a big thing.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, this was kind of uh, my big promises I did
yeah,
to my voters, to the people, to kind of build a beer fountain. I have the vision of a beer fountain, and I'm going to build it anyways. I don't know how at this moment, um, but well, I fear that I'm in kind of lack of money to build it, because I was just like I just got 11 seats on just the district level, yeah. But this is a big vision, and I'm trying to fulfill this dream, my dream, and the dream of my fellow citizens in the next couple of months. And when I'm bringing a beer party to the UK, you could be a representative, and then we could build a beer fountain
yeah,
in Essex
maybe.
as well.
I think there's a lot of people that are disillusioned with politics in the UK at the moment, and I feel that something like this, like you've done, could happen in the UK. Whether it's a beer party or it could be a cricket party, I don't know. You know, a football
A
party.
tea
I don't
party?
know. It's yeah, a tea party. There you go, a tea party. The Great British Tea Party. There you go. That would be a good one, wouldn't it? But I don't drink tea, so I won't vote for them. But yeah, I can see this concept happening, being followed in other countries. I could possibly see maybe the Netherlands and Belgium doing something like what you've done, because, as you know, in the course of history, the Netherlands and the Belgiums have had a few sort of different sort of MPs that have sort of sprung up, quite popular, haven't they? So yeah, I could see this catching on across Europe, in its various disguises. I think you're possibly a forerunner, and you've possibly given people that have got the same similar ideas as you to maybe have a crack at it. You know, they've seen you now win some seats, they've seen you do quite well in this election, and I think you could be sort of the forerunner to it all. What do you say about that?
These are big words. Thank you very much for speaking them out. I'm honored that people see what I did like that. I hope so that it's kind of a motivation or kind of vision I'm bringing abroad as well. In this election, I really got big coverage from newspapers from South America, which I really wondered about. Also like Mexico, and were newspaper articles from Spain. And after the election, when it got sure that I got elected into the like district council, um, Euronews from France did an interview, and Russia Today came again. They already did an interview last time in the general election uh, in 2019. So yeah, I think it's kind of getting a topic in other countries as well, uh,
Yeah.
because it seems like in other countries there's also potential for something like that. It already was when you compare it to the Pepe Grillo in Italy,
Yeah.
and also Jon Gnar from he was the mayor of Reykjavik, I guess. He also was a musician,
Yeah.
punk
Finland,
musician.
Finland. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's kind of maybe it's getting a big thing. I don't know. For me, the this election was kind of just the first shot, and I promised the media and the people here in Austria that this was not the last election I was involved in.
The one policy I do like that you've got, and I think it's absolutely fantastic, is the distribution of 50 litres of beer per person if you was to become like Prime Minister of Austria. And I reckon that is absolutely fantastic. That is that's my sort of party, that is. So, everyone, if you was to be elected as Prime Minister, everyone in Austria gets 50 litres of beer per year as a thank you very much. I think that's brilliant. It's great. What a great
That
policy.
I would start out with 50 liters per year. Uh, my dream is that everyone gets 50 liters per month.
Really? That's,
So
that's even better.
yeah, it's even better. Yeah. Uh, there are a lot of things, a lot of ideas I have. A lot of them are kind of sarcastic and humorous, funny, you could say. Uh, but some of them also have kind of like a serious background due to the fact that I'm an artist myself, a musician. The
Yeah.
Corona crisis hit me hard, so I also have the idea to more focus on saving cultural places here in Vienna. Vienna has a huge live scene, a lot of clubs where young bands can get together and play their first concert. So we must not forget these people. We must not forget the artists. And this is also a big topic I try to like work on. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a good topic because, as you know, beer is, I consider beer to be very good for you. It's like in a lot of countries, it's classed as liquid bread. It's classed as part of the
It is,
diet,
yeah.
beer, isn't it? So it's for some reason in England it's not treated that way, but I know in Germany, Holland, or should I say the Netherlands, you're not allowed to call it Holland anymore. Belgium, Austria, beer is a big part of life, isn't it? It's a lot of people drink a beer every day, um,
Yeah,
and it's a massive
it
part of
is.
life, growing up, and that's good. It's good.
We're actually number two in beer drinking worldwide, I think, the Austrians.
Yeah,
Uh, Number one is Czech Republic. Yeah, they kind of drink uh, Austria plus 20% of what the Austrians drink, I think. So they are kind of
yeah,
really good. But Austrians are doing good. This is the right country actually to start a beer party movement. Um, but I think also the in England you can train hard and get better.
yeah, yeah. You definitely win the World Cup for drinking beer. There you go. So let's move on to your punk rock band, which is called Turbo Beer. So there's always a beer theme in everything you do. Okay, which is I think is brilliant. But obviously it's punk rock. So what were your influences in bands that influenced you when in your youth to become a punk rock star? What bands influenced you at the end of the day?
I'm sure you will love the answer. It's the Sex Pistols, actually, uh, because
Really?
this was yeah. I'm not sure how you what do you think about the Sex Pistols, but this was one of the first CDs back in the days, like 20 years ago, I think. This was the first
Yeah.
CDs I bought. Um, because I really loved the artwork. I didn't back in 1995. You just could, if you didn't know the band, there was no way to kind of pre-listen to anything. You would have to like buy it and surprise yourself. That's what I did with the Sex Pistols, and um, I still love their music. I then moved on to like American punk rock, for example, Rancid.
Right.
It's still one of my favorite bands. I listen to Rancid basically every day since I'm 14 years old. That's where I come from musically. Um, Although my own music kind of started to develop more from like really simple punk rock to more, yeah, more rock thing actually in these days. Um, but people still see it as a punk band, and I think punk is it's not just about the music or how it sounds. It's kind of a mindset you have, and I still have this mindset in the music. Singing a lot about beer, avoiding to work,
Yeah.
um, and kind of fighting the police. So there's a lot of punk rock
Yeah. Typical punk type
topics.
of music, which is
Yeah, punk type of
anarchy.
music.
It's sort of anarchy, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, a lot
I
of
know.
anarchy.
The funny thing is,
Uh,
the funny thing is, my favourite band of all time is the Jam. Now, look, Paul
yeah,
Weller and the Jam. You've probably heard of the Jam, yeah. Now,
yeah,
believe it or not, they actually started off as a punk band, but because they weren't from London, they were outside of London. They they didn't fit in. They were like the outsiders, so they wasn't like invited to the exclusive gigs. It was hard for them to get gigs at the start. So they gave up on the punk rock side and moved into the mod. So become a mod
yeah.
band. But yeah, so yeah, Paul Weller started off playing at the same, roughly the same time as the Sex Pistols, which is the late '70s. They tried to become a punk band and failed. So
And
yeah, and
failed.
obviously, it was a yeah, well, yeah, because they weren't allowed. You had the likes of sort of the Sex Pistols. You had Susie and the Banshees, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Those sort of punk bands that all were sort of quite clicky, if you know what I mean. They were all mates of one another, and they didn't like to let outsiders in.
Yeah.
Um,
But
so, but
it's just
yes,
funny that you said they tried to become a punk band, but they failed. It's like becoming a punk
yeah,
band is basically the most easy thing in the entire world to
yeah,
become. What? No, no,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, but they failed because they couldn't get the gigs. They couldn't get the gigs. And when as a band starting off, you need the gigs, don't you? And a lot of the times you live from gig to gig, don't you? The
Yeah,
the gig you play pays for the travel and the hotels for the next gig and so on, doesn't it? It's how it works when a band first starts out. But I've actually watched one of your videos, your pop videos, believe it or not. Simmering, which is quite a big hit for you, isn't it? The Simmering one, um, which I was quite impressed by because I'll let you explain to my viewers and people of YouTube what car was you driving in Simmering in the video,
the song is actually called King of Simmering, and Simmering is the district where
yeah,
I come from. It's in
right?
kind of suburbs of Vienna, you could say. It's where I grew up, where I come from, and yeah, it's a working class district. Um, and it perfectly rhymes to king. So I just named myself the King of Simmering. And there is just one car which does perfectly fit into the scenery, and it's from Knight Rider, the kit. Yeah. And a friend of mine, he has
Yeah,
one
but
actually. So I gave him a ring and said, "Hey, can I borrow your kit?" And he was like, "Okay, you can have it." And then I drove around, and it's a fucked up car actually. It's a mess because it you need like 50 liters of gasoline for 10 kilometers. It totally stinks
yes,
like, well, like crazy. Wherever you stop this car, the next second you move it, there is a sea of oil and gas.
yeah, yeah.
There is
Not a good
no
car, the
proper
Trans Ams,
steering
are they?
wheel.
Yeah,
Sorry?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They're
There,
not a very reliable car, the Trans Ams, are they? Not reliable. Uh,
no. Um, there was one technician. He kind of took care of this car because you cannot kind of start it on your own, or because this one is actually really like it's not a normal Trans Am. It's crazy car. I don't know what they did with it,
yeah,
but it's an original. But you need one
yeah,
guy who is really into this car and knows how to start it, stop it, and that it doesn't explode. But still, it was fun. I could drive it on my own. I'm glad that I didn't destroy it because it would be a expensive fun. Um, but I
yeah.
think your viewers they should watch this video. It's a good one.
Oh, definitely. It's pretty cool. Just to see the car in the video. You know, probably a
And
lot of my
me.
viewers don't speak German and probably can't understand what you're singing about, but just to watch the video, see the car, it's pretty cool. It really is pretty cool, and yeah, it's brilliant.
Thank
I
you.
liked it. I liked it a lot. Um, but it's great. It's great to have you on here, Marco. Massive respect for you for coming on here and doing this interview. Um, is this the first UK interview that you've done?
This is actually the first interview in the UK. I think so. And I'm really glad that I did it with you.
Yeah, great, because obviously, it's all about beer. I promote beer, and you promote your beer party, so, I can promote the beer party now. I feel really honoured to be able to have this interview with the politician from the beer party and
We just
wave the
put
flag.
together what fits together.
That's
We
it. That's it. And it's all about, and we obviously have to thank a third party called Manuel for getting this interview together as well. Without Manuel, I know he's in the background looking and checking on the audio and that for us. And I'd really like to thank Manuel for putting this together for us. It was, something which I don't think would have happened without Manuel. Um, Obviously, I'd really like to thank you for coming on, Marco. It's been brilliant. Is there anything you'd like to say at all?
thank you very much for having me. We should totally stay in contact because I want to bring the beer party to the UK now as soon as possible. So you're a perfect representative. Uh,
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to building beer fountains all over the British Empire, I would say. Like
that
everywhere.
would be brilliant. That would be so cool. That would. And um, you obviously hear when I finish uh, my reviews. I have the quote: "Beer is the answer, but I cannot remember the question." Maybe that's something which you can adopt in your politics of when you get interviewed and they ask you a difficult question like the politics get asked and you don't want to answer it, like you can just say beer is the answer but I cannot remember the question, move on to the next.
I actually think that I already I kind of really answer question like that in interviews. Especially I love it when I'm on
Yeah,
TV to say uh, what did you say? I can't remember. Let's go. That's how my politics work actually. And there's also
Yeah,
one
that's brilliant.
one thing I can really I can always use for an excuse, and this is beer actually.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, Marco, I definitely, we've got the old WhatsApp. We can keep in touch, and I'm definitely going to follow your political career because I think you're going to be quite amazed. I think you're going to get bigger in Austria. From what I can understand with the Austrian people and their sort of their humour and their love of beer, I can only see you getting stronger. Beer is the answer, but I cannot remember the question. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Good night.
TT says, never play with matches, fireworks, and always drink responsibly.